Hello, everybody.
Hi,
Hey.
we are live. Let's see
Yes.
who we have here. We have Dolly. Dolly is a member now.
Oh
Um,
my goodness. Welcome,
so
Dolly.
Katie is a member now.
Ah,
By the way, I promised Katie that we will pay her back for her membership because Katie has such great comments that I would need to be able to see them during the live stream. So I would like just be a member. I'll pay you back so that we can see her comments. Okay.
yeah. Katie
So.
reached out to me because I want to know if the conversion rate is different where you
mm.
are versus what it is in the US.
Ghost Bunny is here. Ghost Bunny saying hello, loves. Mars is
Mars. Hi,
Mars.
Mars.
Who else? Dark Fat Official.
Dark
Kenji.
Fate.
Oh, I said same thing. Dark.
Freudian slip.
Hmm. They're all fat, anyways. It's okay. Ali. Oh, Kasam is here. Ali is here. Soho is saying audio is great. Ben is here. Bish saying, "Oh, oh wow." Fatima is also saying, "Hey, Armin and Susanna." Hi,
On
Fatima.
Facebook.
On
Do we
Facebook.
have anyone on Twitch right now?
We'll see. Probably so. Um. Oh wow, Fatima saying, "I love you so much, Armin." When you say we are live. Ah, okay. Oh, Trail is here for the horde. No, for the alliance. For the alliance. Um. Yes.
Just the
Why?
distaste in my eyes.
Silva is here. Oh, should we show people the latest version of our blasphemous art at the end of the stream?
um
I think we should. Let me actually make
Wait,
sure
the
that.
censored version.
Of course.
Okay, because guys, before it was just censored because we wanted it to be exclusive to our patrons. Now it's censored because legitimately, just we can't even have that on YouTube.
No, we can't have that anywhere except Patreon, right?
Suha is on Twitch, guys. Go follow us on Twitch because the StreamYard might crap on us again, and then we can only highlight comments there, or just follow us there in general. And hello to Robert Hamilton. Hi, Robert. For those who
Hi.
don't know, Robert is one of our directors. So
Yes. Yes. Oh, also, Maggie saying Armin is wearing my favorite color, pink.
cute, cute,
Yeah.
cute.
I wore it just for you, Maggie. Uh oh, Mortal Skeptic is here. Should I show the art at the beginning of the stream or at the end of the stream?
We got to show it at the end.
End of the stream. Okay. I
Um.
just
So
Oh, and
before we get
Fatima,
started,
we're not doing the news today. We're doing one specific item. All right, but go ahead.
although I do have some news.
Okay, go ahead.
So if you guys were here watching the news yesterday, if you watched that stream, we I talked about how we were going to have a pan Canadian AR consulate meeting
Wait. I'm
today.
sorry. I missed out some people. Casey, hi
Oh my
Casey.
god.
Music guy 20. I just wanted to be sure. Music guy 20. Hi. All right. Sorry. Go on. Go on. Sorry. Go on.
Okay, so um, like I said yesterday, we were going to have a pan Canadian AR consulate meeting to discuss urgent action that we can take as the Atheist Republic community to help Zara K. And this morning we had, well, it was morning for me, had a very fruitful discussion with a number of our members of our Canadian consulates about what we can do for Zara and assist her. We did some letter writing. We crafted a script and a letter together about how we can address the Tanzanian authorities. And we had a lot of really good discussion about the right way to approach the authorities, how to write an effective appeal letter, and other actions that we can take as a community going forward. So I'm going to work a little bit more on a script before I release it to the wider AR community. And I'm also going to double back with the wider team of Zara's defenders about this script because there has been some conversation about whether that's the right direction to go in right now. But I would like to thank everyone who attended. Like Suha was someone who attended that meeting, and it was really good to see her there. So
Hmm.
yes, thank you for everyone who came. And I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on that and let you know that we followed through. So And regarding Zara, we're going to have more updates as they come. So
Zara K is single-handedly uniting and organizing all our organizations and movements together, so that she's basically setting a precedent for future collaboration. Like, she's creating a structure for how we help everyone else after her. So that's great, and probably she's going to be involved in them later, when she's free and all. So yeah,
and when she can just
can't wait to have her back so we could be like talk to her about all that.
yeah,
Tell her.
she or people on her behalf have released a few statements on her social medias, but it'll be exciting when she can actually talk about this publicly. Anyways, but there will be more developments this week, and we will let you guys know.
Cool. Our queen is here.
Should we get started?
Yes.
Okay.
Lead the way.
Okay, so
shouldn't you be sharing your screen?
I'm gonna give our audience a introduction to the issue at hand first. So, for those who are new to this channel, we have been battling a certain ideology for many years, but with new vigor and a more of a personalized edge since September. This ideology and subsequent political party associated with this would be the Hindutva ideology and the BJP party of India. For those who don't know, I would describe the Hindutva ideology as a far-right, ethno-nationalist, Hindu supremacist movement and ideology.
But don't forget bigoted.
Oh, yes. And so those aspects of it inform its notorious anti-Muslim bigotry.
Don't forget authoritarian. Don't forget fascistic.
Yes. Very anti-enlightenment. Well, what about the things that I just described is not fascistic?
I know. I just wanted to add to it.
To make matters worse, this is currently the ruling party of India. Okay, so this India is, the second most populous country on the planet. That's a huge market, right? And the fact that India has this far-right fascistic presence and power in the country definitely means that other powerful foreign countries who want to do business in India have a conflict of interest when it comes to working within India. And while seeming or supposing to maintain a lot of progressive values that they get because many of these companies are based in the US, or more specifically the Bay Area. Yes, so we're going to get into how the BJP influences Facebook and how this is a huge problem.
This sounded like
Yola is right.
This sounded like a conspiracy theory, like one of those, exaggerations, until you actually look into it. Okay, this is apparently very out there and open for everyone to see, and confirmed by real journalists, not like cuckoo bloggers or YouTubers, but these investigations done by legitimate authoritative sources. But yeah, go on.
So this is a huge problem. And so we're going to get into how Facebook's business interests in India greatly conflict with specifically its hate speech policy. yes, Selva Kumar, this is a very fair comparison. Selva Kumar is saying RSS is like the triple K, okay, coded language.
Be careful. We're not going to say it the other way because YouTube might be sensitive. So we say triple K. Yeah, good.
Like is like the triple K clan, but with educated lackeys in all the places which hold power. Yes. It's real bad. So let's get into this. So we're going to be reviewing this article by Time Magazine. So for those who don't know, there was like a bombshell article written by the Wall Street Journal, which is an American newspaper, in August. Now, unfortunately, it's behind a paywall, so I couldn't get that really explosive report, but this article goes through a lot of what was covered there and does a little further digging as well.
If somebody has access to that report, please send it to Susanna, because that would be very interesting.
Definitely, preferably in PDF. So the beginning just sets the stage a little bit. Okay. So this kind of begins with they set a scene here. In July 2019, Alfia Zoyab was on a video call with Facebook employees in India discussing some 180 posts by users in the country that Avaz, the watchdog group where she worked, said violated Facebook's hate speech rules. But halfway through the hour-long meeting, Shivnath Thukral, the most senior Facebook official on the call, got up and walked out of the room, Zoyab says, saying he had other important things to do. This is where things get very important. Among the posts was one by Shiladitya Dev, a lawmaker in the state of Assam for Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Hindu nationalist Bharatiya Janata Party. I'm just going to say BJP moving forward. He had shared a news report about a girl being allegedly drugged and raped by a Muslim man and added his own comment, quote, "This is how Bangladeshi Muslims target our native people in 2019, end quote. But rather than removing it, Facebook allowed the post to remain online for more than a year after the meeting until Time Magazine contacted Facebook to ask about it on August 21st. Meaning this American news magazine brought to their attention. They're like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, it's gone now. Okay. Quote, "We looked into this when Azaz first flagged it to us, and our records show that we assessed it as a hate speech violation," Facebook said in a statement to Time. "We failed to remove it upon initial review, which was a mistake on our part," end quote. Armin, while I'm going through this, can you keep an eye on the chat, please?
Okay, but I also want to pay attention to the article, so it's going to be difficult. Guys, because I want to also pay attention to what Susanna is reading, please make sure that I'm going to be mostly paying attention to members who tag Atheist Republic, okay? So you have to be a member, you have to tag Atheist Republic, and your comment also have to be relevant to the article, because I need to be a little bit selective so I could keep up with what Susanna is saying. But go on.
Thukral was Facebook's policy director for India and South Asia at the time. And this is a picture of him here. Part of his job was lobbying the Indian government, but he was also involved with discussions about how to act when posts by politicians were flagged as hate speech by moderators, former employees tell Time.
But before we go to, can you summarize basically what happened? What was happening was like a post by somebody that was anti the earlier version, right? The one that you just read about. Facebook didn't remove a post that was anti-Muslim, right?
Yeah. So a BJP member, a BJP lawmaker,
right,
made a post that promoted anti-Muslim bigotry.
Anti-Muslim bigotry, and they didn't remove it for a whole year. Okay. And that's the summary of that entire paragraph. Okay, yes. Let's continue.
So this gets into this man's role at Facebook. So part of his job was lobbying the Indian government, but then he's also involved in making decisions about how to act when politicians are flagged as hate speech or promoting hate speech, which is pretty obviously seems like a conflict of interest. So Facebook acknowledges that Thurkral left the meeting, but says he never intended to stay for its entirety and joined only to introduce Zoyab, who he knew from a past job, to his team. Shivnath did not leave because the issues were not important, said Facebook in a statement, noting that the company took action on 70 out of the 180 posts presented during that meeting. So, that meeting aside, I think what we need to keep in mind here from this paragraph is this conflict of interest that is beginning to be outlined here. And there are going to be other competing interests that are going to be continued to be highlighted throughout this article. Okay.
Wait, we need to have our, imagine why don't we have an atheist person having meet with, we need to have secularist, anti-blasphemy, or atheist organizations become so powerful that they have meeting with Facebook officials about posts that have been removed for blasphemy. And look at the level of privilege and power and influence that these religions have. But yeah,
well, it's not specifically religions; it's governments.
No, okay, it's religious governments.
Yes,
it's governments. I know it's governments, but the religion is so powerful that it's gone beyond just being religious organizations in influence, like something like CARE. It's to the point of we have an entire government on the side of our religion. So it's not it's not necessarily religion, it's governments. It's governments in fighting on behalf of certain religions. But yeah, go
on. So some people in the live chat are saying that they're getting a lag. Just pause for a few seconds or lower the quality.
No, yeah, and also rewind a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so Darwinian Atheist, who I believe is an Indian, is saying BJP IT cell is damn strong, though. Yes. In fact, we are going to review another article and study that I found about it's not actually necessarily specific to BJP, but it's a 15-year operation to influence the EU through fake news with pro-Indian and anti-Pakistani, anti-Chinese sentiment. Very interesting study I found. Should I read this comment?
No. It's okay.
Okay.
Well, read it. Yeah, sure.
Erkin is saying hate speech is a huge problem. On one hand, you have violent groups. On the other hand, you risk censoring the most important thoughts. It's very complicated on private platforms, certainly.
Right.
Although on a national level, Armin and I are both against hate speech laws. So let's continue.
Wait, let me just say, Jimmy Boy in the live chat, you're an idiot and you're a moron and you're so triggered and it's so funny. Just continue.
Okay. Oh, he's literally been crying about this for 2 weeks.
It's so funny. I want him to stay there crying about it. I just wanted to add a little bit to it because he's such a baby. Hey, Jimmy Boy is such a baby. He's crying so hard in the live chat. Just continue because it's so entertaining.
For 2 weeks, bro. Move on. Actually, don't move on.
Don't. It's funny. I like it.
Okay. Let's continue.
Go.
The social media giant, meaning Facebook, is under increasing scrutiny for how it enforces hate speech policies when the accused are members of Modi's ruling party. Activists say some Facebook policy officials are too close to the BJP and accuse the company of putting its relationship with the government ahead of its stated mission of removing hate speech from its platform, especially when ruling party politicians are involved.
Wait, can you? Mm-hmm. So, because it's hard for me to keep track. So this is what's the name of this organization again? Where is it?
The social media watchdog?
No. So who's too close to the BJP? Sorry,
Facebook.
No, okay, but what is this? Okay, never mind. What's the guy's name again? The social media giant is under increasing
Thurkal
scrutiny. Okay.
was involved
Activists read
in
some
policy.
Facebook policy officials are too close to the BJP and accuse the company of putting its relationship with the government ahead of a city mission. Yeah, okay. So it's not like oof. So basically, the problem is from within the Facebook.
Yeah.
There were some people in the live chat that were telling me about this, and I told them that I don't think so, and I think that they were being conspiratorial. And
No.
I was, yeah. So I think Katie was also suggesting this to me that this is true, and I was like, you guys I think like overestimating the influence that these people have, and I thought like just saying that Facebook itself is trying to do like has people in it that are biased in favor of Hindutva. I thought these people were like wrong and a little bit going cuckoo bananas with their conspiracy theories, and I have to admit I was wrong. wrong. You guys were right, and
Yeah. So
it seems like I was wrong. Yeah, but go on.
since the Wall Street Journal published their report in, I believe it was August of this past year now. Oh my God, we're in 2021. There's been mounting evidence of the infiltration and influence of the BJP at Facebook. And if anyone can get me that Wall Street Journal article, that'd be fantastic. But let us continue. So they're particularly focusing on this guy, Thurkal. So Thurkal, for instance, worked with party leadership to assist in the BJP's 2014 election campaign, according to documents Time has seen. So here where this is beginning an ongoing theme is that a lot of the people who are high up in Facebook that are in charge of making these decisions when it comes to monitoring the hate speech of politicians have former relationships and previously worked for the BJP party. So obviously it's not true that in all cases someone's former job or someone's former relationships and automatically influence their ability and intentions in their new job. But this guy in particular, we're going to get into it more. A very particular picture is painted. You have something to say?
No.
Okay. So Facebook's managing director for India, Ajit Mohan, denied suggestions that the company had displayed bias towards the BJP in an August 21st blog post titled, "We are open, transparent, and nonpartisan." He wrote, "Despite hailing from diverse political affiliations and backgrounds, our employees perform their respective duties and interpret our policies in a fair and nonpartisan way. The decisions around content escalations are not made unilaterally by just one person. Rather, they are inclusive of views from different teams and disciplines within the company." So this person is saying that it's corporate speak, saying, "Oh, this isn't just coming from one person. Like, this isn't a dictatorship."
This is like such corporate speak. Like whenever these statements are prepared, is like they say so little in such like that's what corporate speak is basically. Usually, this is what they all have in common. They send you entire paragraphs that you could summarize in half a sentence. I hate them. I hate them so much. Okay, no matter how much like we become more and more official Atheist Republic, like as we grow, like please, like Susanna, be careful for us not to ever talk like that to our people. Okay. By the way, I'm hearing echo.
It's always just you,
Susanna. When I hear echo, that means the problem's on the other side. Reduce my volume.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. Continue.
Okay.
No, wait. Katie has something to say.
God.
Oh my God. Katie has something to say.
It was really obvious to Indians because of how opposition posts and pages were deprioritized. Even a week ago or so, Facebook removed the page of an ongoing protest movement. Yeah, so this is a huge problem. I was watching some videos about this on from Indian news broadcasters on YouTube before. this, and they were often talking about how opposition parties are blatantly deprioritized in Facebook. So even algorithms seem to favor BJP.
I don't know about that. Okay, I know. Again, I'm gonna be skeptical. Okay, I trust like reports like this, my time rather than people's, because I've seen a lot of people just thinking like, oh, this seems like it's being deprioritized, or like from your perspective, you see like if anecdotals and people's personal experiences and their feeling about this page being removed, that being page removed, even if they are right, you cannot trust that as a way to figure out what's happening, right? Because people are always biased. They have their own intuitions, and intuitions is one of the least reliable way of, like, they try to see patterns where the patterns but patterns do not exist. They see correlation when there's no correlation. So just people noticing things, even though that might be suspicious and might lead to actually investigating something, it's a good way to start to come up with an excuse to investigate something. But those pattern recognitions or correlations that then people are noticing by itself shouldn't be like, it shouldn't be considered really obvious just because what people are noticing, right? It should be based on a deeper study, I think. Anyways, but let's continue.
So now we're going to talk about what was published in the WSJ. Wall Street published the blog post, meaning this one with all this corporate talk, after the Wall Street Journal, citing current and former Facebook employees, reported on August 14th that the company's top policy official in India, oh my gosh, Anki Das, guys, please correct me, because she's very important in this. So this is the person's top policy official in India, Anki Das, remember this, pushed back against other Facebook employees who wanted to label a BJP politician as a dangerous individual and ban him from the platform after he called for, oh boy, can I say this on YouTube?
Okay, no. Let's say Muslim immigrants to be, just read it on the screen. Yeah. We're not even going to spell it.
Okay.
Yeah, because YouTube, we saw what happened to Abdullah Samir, right?
Yeah.
So YouTube is very unreasonable when it comes to like them deciding what we're saying. We're not saying this, guys. We're just reading this article, okay? I know you guys know, but we have to say this for YouTube, okay? This is not. Just read it off of the screen.
But so this lawmaker T. Raja Singh said that Muslim immigrants, I believe in the state of Assam, should face this punishment. Okay. And she was pushing back against people who said that a politician should be labeled a dangerous individual because he said this. Okay. Mm-hmm. Das argued that punishing a state lawmaker, T. Raja Singh, would hurt Facebook's business prospects in India, the journal reported.
Wow.
Facebook said that Das's intervention was not the sole reason that Singh was not banned, and that it was still deciding if a ban was necessary.
Wow.
If you look up this individual's history, you're like, oh my God. Are you
kidding? Can you go a little bit higher? So what is this? This guy, what is he? He's a lawmaker, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's be a little bit skeptical. Isn't it the case that, oh no, that's Twitter. Twitter has this rule that politicians can get away with more than other people for the sake of access to political speak. But I don't know what the Facebook rules are. So if this guy is a lawmaker, I don't know if so I don't know what the standards are. Does Facebook have different standards for lawmakers and politicians? Yes, mm-hmm. Facebook as well, just like Twitter.
No, I've meant that the platforms have different standards than each other.
No. I don't know. Oh, okay, yeah. No, I'm just saying that I don't know if on Facebook it's like Twitter, where politicians have different standards than other users. Because if they don't, then there is zero justification for why this guy is not being censored, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah, but yeah, continue.
So this.
Oh wait, we have member
was very very pertinent. Okay. Erkin is saying try age restricting live streams. Age restricted videos are
No,
going to get a bit more lenient on hate speech things.
no, age restriction is about other stuff.
Monetization.
No, it's about like sexual related stuff, right? And also, if you age restrict a video, it will get nowhere. Like basically, you just basically manage to remove the entire reach that video could ever have. Even U.S. politicians couldn't express this much. Yeah. But yeah, let's continue. Sorry.
Jimmy Boy is still like exhibiting like legendary levels of butthurt in the live chat, and it's hilarious.
It's good. No, yeah, let him continue. It's helping with our engagement, so it's good. Facebook doesn't. Erkin is saying Facebook doesn't have those privileges like Twitter. But yeah, let's continue.
So again, this person is arguing that this lawmaker who is promoting deadly anti-Muslim bigotry shouldn't be banned because it would hurt those Facebook's business prospects. So let's get into what those are. Those business prospects are sizable. India is Facebook's largest market, with 328 million using the social media platform. Some 400 million Indians also use Facebook's messaging service, WhatsApp. A substantial chunk of the country's estimated 503 million internet users. Okay, so they have a grasp on the majority of the market, right? The platforms have become increasingly important in Indian politics after the 2014 elections. Das, again, this woman who is the company's top policy official in India, Das published an op-ed arguing that Modi had won because of the way he had leveraged Facebook in his campaign.
Wow.
So she openly acknowledges the influence of the platform in Indian politics at the highest level. Okay. Where was this op-ed published? Okay, somewhere else. But Facebook and WhatsApp have also been used to spread hate speech and misinformation that have been blamed for helping to incite deadly attacks on minority groups amidst rising communal tensions across India, despite the company's efforts to crack down. In February, a video of a speech by BJP politician Kapil Mishra was uploaded to Facebook in which he told police that unless they removed the mostly Muslim protesters occupying a road in Delhi, his supporters would do it themselves.
What does that mean? Police unless they remove mostly Muslim protests.
Remember when you were watching that video of people dealing with the love jihad case of Nikita Tomar, and there was like a Hindutva mob talking about like how they were just going to take matters into their own hands. It's the same.
Right. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, the same thing.
So they're like telling the police, if you don't go deal with this group, we're going to. And violent riots erupted within hours. In that case, Facebook determined the video violated its rules on incitement to violence and removed it. So again, this is a video of a specific speech by a BJP politician that is directly implicated in the promotion of this violence. WhatsApp too has been used with deadly intent in India, for example, by cow vigilantes. For those who don't know, those are Hindu mobs that have attacked Muslims and Dalits. Those are outcasts from the caste system, accused of killing cows, which is an animal sacred in Hinduism. At least 44 people, most of them Muslims, were killed by cow vigilantes between May of 2015 and December of 2018, according to Human Rights Watch. Many cow vigilante murders happen after rumors spread on WhatsApp. And videos of lynchings and beatings are often shared via the app too. Katie is saying, if the police don't give in to the mob would go and remove the Muslim protesters themselves. It is about the Delhi riots. Yeah, exactly. So,
you know what we need to do? Wait, what are you looking at?
Oh, I'm just looking at the live chat really quick.
We because this is what okay, so using Katie's method, using our own personal intuitions and experiences, um, I think this is happening on Twitter as well, based on how obvious, like my Twitter account being suspended, and every single account on Twitter that we created after to spread our blasphemous art, every single one of them was removed. Every single one of them, right? Um, and how clearly it is that the blasphemous art that we're posting on Twitter doesn't violate, how so obviously and so transparently and so doesn't violate any of Twitter's community guidelines or any of the TOS, right? It doesn't. It's like we have talked to so many people. I think we have to do an entire live stream on this, right? Because we also just got another FIR, right?
Well,
Regarding
we didn't get the FIR.
But
3 months after the fact. Well, we're going to talk about this. But
yeah, we're going to talk about this
in the stream. Police reports have been brought against officials in Twitter India because of Armin's tweets.
Right. So we're going to talk 3 months later. We're going to have another live stream about that. But I think that these my Twitter being suspended fully, and after the appeal, by the way, we never mentioned this on here before. I'm mentioning it for the first time. We got an email from Twitter saying that they went through our appeal and it has been rejected, and for us not to try again. Okay. So human intervention, like not just algorithm, like there was people from Twitter looked at it. They saw that it was our blasphemous tweets that had zero nudity, and it was just goddesses kissing, and they were like, yes, that deserves a full Twitter suspension, even though there's nothing in the community guidelines that shows that that's a violation of any Twitter's rules. So this to me suggests that something like this, that this article is mentioning about Facebook, is also happening on Twitter. And I think that we could start a campaign to at least start an investigation like this, highlighting how much Twitter is being influenced by Hindutva. I think that we could use this blasphemous art and the way that blasphemy is being enforced. Anti-Hindu blasphemy is being enforced on Twitter in a way that anti-Islamic blasphemy has never been. But this shows how powerful Hindutva is, because as much as Islamic butthurt we have against like drawing Muhammad on Twitter, they are not this influential. They are not have this much control over social media, Silicon Valley social media, right?
Into the executive offices of the biggest social media platforms in the world.
Yeah, and this should have global consequences, right?
It does.
We're talking about a religious political group within India managing to control social media platforms that are used globally. We're saying that the BJP party in India is managing to enforce blasphemy laws outside of India on platforms that are used. The most conversation on the planet is right now happening on these platforms, and they have such level of control over it. Like this should be a much bigger conversation. We had a super chat. You want to address?
Yes.
No, it's just a super sticker.
Arshini gave us 60 rupees. Wait, can you see what the super sticker is? And she's a member.
Wow, thank you so much. It's
Arshini.
It's a fox. People keep telling me it's a cat, and if you think this is a cat, then you guys, there's something wrong. You're out of your mind. This is a fox, and it's punching in the air, and it's saying, "How's it going?" Thank you so much for that, Arshini. Okay, and we also have. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for being a member. Katie's saying, do you want to read this one while I look at the other?
WhatsApp and Telegram are where they organize all kinds of stuff. They dox people and spread misinformation and disinformation and share many things. There have been screenshots leaked from them. Yeah.
And there's another one.
Oh, and this is just Katie saying, yes, I do talk more about anecdotes than data, but I hope I'm clear about them being anecdotes and I'm not asserting anything with 100% certainty, and people should do their own research. Guys, this is how to do skepticism right.
Wow.
Look at that, Katie.
Like it.
Trails is saying maybe an idea could be trying contacting Charlie Hebdo and see if they would be up for taking up this issue of Hindu extremism. There would be a global outcry if they got banned. They have done blasphemy of Hinduism before. People haven't lost their shit over. Maybe they, I don't know. It's weird. Like maybe people don't know, but like they have.
Yeah, we just got more attention for maybe because our blasphemy is better than Charlie Hebdo, and people got our blasphemy is sexier than Charlie Hebdo's blasphemy.
Yes.
Charlie Hebdo is our competitor now. So
I just don't know it yet.
I'm kidding. Silva's here.
Silva is saying the BJP IT wing pays out about 2 rupees per tweet /post, hence it has the biggest IT wing. Yeah, so their IT cells are like a whole different issue on Twitter, which is crazy. And the amount of BJP IT cells that went after us was unprecedented. And I have more than enough evidence about their mass reporting and targeted harassment campaigns on Twitter towards us. It's neither a fox nor a cat. It's a Shiba Inu.
All right. And Erkin, you said that custom emojis aren't working. I just tested the Kelly one and it worked. And we have Hindutva Butthurt. And this guy is just posted one.
No, Murtad. What's wrong? Amit? What's wrong?
Look at this. Amit, what's wrong, Amit? Yeah, Amit Shah posted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of this comment right after each other, which means that the Hindutva Butthurt is flowing in the live stream. And Soha gave Amit a 300-second timeout. Thank you so much for Soha for taking care of this. Look at this. By the way, Amit, just a tip. You would be able to stay in the live stream and keep posting this Butthurt because we enjoy Hindutva salt. We collect Hindutva salt here a lot. But if you post it like 8 or 9 times in a row, if you post it even 5 times in a row, then you're spamming and it makes it hard for other people to have a conversation around your Butthurt. So we will give you a timeout at first, and then we will ban you if you keep doing that. But we do enjoy your Butthurt here in the live stream. So if you want to stay and share some Hindutva tears with us, maybe just say like 1 or twice in a row, and then wait a little bit, and then say it again. That way we'll get to keep you. All right, but go on.
Darwinian Atheist has an interesting comment saying, my friend is in the IT cell because he was unemployed and he earned a good 2,000 to 3,000 rupees a week. Holy cow. And Atheist Katie is saying Amit Shah is the Home Minister of India and one of the leading Hindutva leaders. Yeah, so this guy is just a troll. Like, obviously that's not the real guy, but the spamming policy still applies. Anyways, let's get into this. Oh my god, that's a little graphic. So let's continue. Time has learned that Facebook, in an effort to evaluate its role in spreading hate speech and incitements to violence, has commissioned an independent report on its impact on human rights in India. They're like, we need a whole separate organization to understand how we are hurting human rights in India. Working on...
Wow, really?
Can you please pay attention?
Well, I'm doing so many things at the same time. Okay, but go on. An independent report. Okay, that's amazing. This is great. Thank you so much, Time. Guys, people. Let me just use this as an opportunity to say thank you, mainstream media. Okay, every time people like Kyle Kulinski and I don't know Temple and everybody else say like the mainstream media is not going to tell you. The mainstream media is where you get all this report and the investigation and the journalists on the ground that these new media like YouTubers and all these podcasters, they sit behind and they get the mainstream media go do all the hard work, all the investigative work, and they just sit here like us, like we just rely on the mainstream media to go collect the information, and we do the easy work on just commenting on it. And we instead of being grateful for all this journalism, we just like, the mainstream media is this. There's so many different kinds of mainstream media that if you don't like this one, there's another one. But again, all the structure, all the resources, all the money, all the brave people that go into war zones sometimes and take risks with their lives, it's all happening because of the mainstream media. Look at these, like Time is mainstream media. Do we get, like, they commission an independent report. This is the stuff.
Time didn't do that. They learned that Facebook did that.
Oh, okay. Still.
Okay.
All my rants was like for nothing then. But still. What?
Work on the India audit previously.
Oh, wait.
Oh my.
Armin, you really are once said a terrible example of an atheist. Okay. Okay. Continue.
Okay. Work on the India audit, previous unreported, began before the Wall Street Journal published its story. It is being conducted by the U.S. law firm Foley Hoag and will include interviews with senior Facebook staff and members of civil society in India, according to 3 people with knowledge on the matter and an email seen by Time. And this is also key. So this goes beyond India, you guys. A similar report on Myanmar, released in 2018, detailed Facebook's failing on hate speech that contributed to the Rohingya genocide there the previous year.
Who made that report? A similar report?
Well, I'll investigate in a second. Facebook declined to confirm the report, meaning the report about this independent audit.
Yeah, I'll check myself. There we go. All the stuff that I said. Oh, no.
Okay.
An independent assessment of the human rights impact of Facebook in Myanmar. That's also by Facebook. Wait, Facebook is good at actually criticizing itself then. Like when they're doing... Actually, I'm kind of impressed. I thought this is like from independent media trying to like figure out, like, even this report is by Facebook itself.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean... so I'll take some of this back. I was trying to endorse mainstream media and I was wrong. Okay, but
you're talking about 2 separate things.
I know, but let's just be clear, because we're trying to really dunk on Facebook for being biased and stuff, right? But they're taking this seriously. Like, they were taking that Myanmar situation very seriously enough for them to do a report on themselves. And they also have commissioned this independent report about human rights in India. So it's not like they're ignoring people's concerns. So, I mean, kudos to Facebook for that, right? No?
Yeah.
That's fair to say. All right, continue.
But that's distinct from this. But activists who have spent years monitoring and reporting hate speech by Hindu nationalists tell Time that they believe Facebook has been reluctant to police posts by members and supporters of the BJP because it doesn't want to pick fights with the government that controls its largest market. The way the company is structured exacerbates the problem, analysts and former employees say. Here's where the problem is, guys. Focus on this. Because the same people responsible for managing the relationship with the government also contribute to the decisions on whether politicians should be punished for hate speech. This is a huge conflict of interest. A core problem at Facebook is that one policy org is responsible for both the rules of the platform and keeping governments happy. Okay? So... enforcing rules and keeping governments happy are at odds with each other, guys. Says Alex Stamos, Facebook's former chief security officer, as he tweeted in May. Quote, local policy heads are generally pulled. Okay, this is another important moment, guys. Local policy heads are generally pulled from the ruling political party and are rarely drawn from disadvantaged ethnic groups, religious creeds, or castes. This naturally bends decision-making towards the powerful. And this makes sense because they want inroads with the government. They want inroads into who is in power to further their business interests, right?
Do you think that the fact that this is being highlighted on such a mainstream platform right now is going to help like undo this? Do you know what I mean?
I don't. I don't think that it will undo it. It will definitely make Facebook more aware that people have an eye on them, and they're going to have to clean up. But I don't think it will undo it.
I know, but like even if you just look at the example that you give above about the Myanmar situation, it seems like they took the people's concerns seriously for them to have an independent assessment of the human rights impact of Facebook in Myanmar by Facebook itself, and they transparently put it out there, right? So if they are like this responsive to concerns like this, if this is being now highlighted by somebody as big as like Time, I think like this might, like, I'm just trying to be optimistic, right? This is way beyond anything like we could hope for. Like Time highlighting something this is going to get on Facebook's radar. They don't want to as much as they care about the market in India, they don't want to be painted as an organization that.
Well, it's a lot more than Time. It's like the entirety of Indian media. I just chose one article: the BBC, the Wall Street Journal, like
right. So this is but this is going to have a backlash. Like, I think if you do a cost-benefit analysis, in Facebook seeming like they are on the side of oppressing the minority and on taking the side of a far-right political party, that's going to be a major hit to their PR. And given that they took the Myanmar situation that seriously, I'm hoping that, I mean, this seems to be such an easy fix. I'm just trying to be optimistic. Katie, what do you think?
Offsheen is saying recipe for corruption much? Okay.
Yeah, but thank you, Time. Thank you, but thank you so much for every time. And who else did you mention? Washington Post,
BBC, the Wall Street Journal. I found numerous Indian media organizations talking about this, more than I can even name.
So we should do the same. We should try to encourage the same thing for Twitter. Then we should use this as a model for how we could start the same conversation for Twitter. But yeah, go on.
Okay. Some activists. Okay, this is where things get really important. Some activists have grown so frustrated with Facebook India policy team that they've begun to bypass it entirely in reporting hate speech. Following the call where Thakral walked out, again, that was the guy who was in charge of policy making decisions, Avaz decided to begin reporting hate speech directly to Facebook's company headquarters in Menlo Park, California. Bay Area. So for those who are not aware, what they're basically saying here is instead of going to their local executives, right, the local branch of Facebook, they're just going straight to the headquarters. They're trying to cut the Indian officials, the Indian policymakers within the country out of the picture entirely, and they're going straight to the American headquarters.
Wow.
Basically as a way to help try to bypass the bias that they feel that they've been experiencing from the Indian officials within Facebook India. Quote, "We found Facebook India's attitude utterly flippant, callous, and uninterested," says Zoyab, who has since left Avaz. Again, this is a nonprofit involved in monitoring hate speech. It's a watchdog group. Another group that regularly reports hate speech against minorities on Facebook in India, which has asked to not be named out of fear of the safety of its members, staffers, said that it has been doing the same since 2018. The same meaning skipping Facebook India and going straight to the main headquarters. In a statement, Facebook acknowledged that some groups regularly flag hate speech in India some groups that regularly flag hate speech in India are in contact with Facebook headquarters, but it said that it did not change the criteria by which posts are judged to be against its rules. Okay, this is very tricky language here. So the criteria doesn't change. However, that doesn't mean that the bias of those who enforce that criteria doesn't change. Like, so sure, you have the same criteria internationally, right? But between India and the Facebook headquarters in America, what does change is the bias of the people in charge of making those decisions. Salva Kumar is saying kudos to the guy who skipped the local management. They're like, I need to speak to a manager.
Can we get in touch with these people that were involved in all of this stuff? Maybe where it comes to the Twitter one as well, like the people that were anti for in the groups for the minority rights and stuff like that. What was that organization called?
Avaz.
Yeah, Avaz. Can we get in touch with the people? Maybe they would be interested in looking at what's happening on Twitter.
The revelations in the journal, meaning the Wall Street Journal, set off a political scandal in India. So this groundbreaking report by the Wall Street Journal has reverberated throughout the country. Set off a political scandal in India, with opposition politicians calling for Facebook to be officially investigated for alleged favoritism towards Modi's party. And the news caused strife within the company too. In an internal open letter, Facebook employees called on executives to denounce anti-Muslim bigotry. Good choice of words. I'm glad they didn't say Islamophobia.
Wow! Yes, this is amazing. Look at that! Look at that phrase, guys. We're making progress. They didn't say Islamophobia. They didn't say Islamophobia. They said anti-Muslim bigotry. This is beautiful. Love it. Thanks to these employees. Guys, again, so this is one thing. If we could get the same thing happening on Twitter, but what we do on Twitter is that we have to say, like, this is what I want to read when it comes to Twitter, okay? In an Twitter employee called on executive to denounce homophobia and do more to ensure hate speech rules. So basically great. So because what Twitter is doing right now, the only thing that people find offensive about our tweets is that the fact that their gods are, either because it's too sex positive, even though there's no nudity, or it's because they are homophobic. So basically what Twitter is doing is giving in to a far right homophobic crowd and enforcing either blasphemy or homophobia on their platform. So we need to get maybe some Twitter employees on our side to write an open letter. We need to get some Twitter employees on our side to write an open letter to Twitter. That would be great. We should find Twitter employees somehow. But yeah, continue.
So these Facebook employees called on the executives of the company to denounce anti-Muslim bigotry and to do more to ensure hate speech rules are applied consistently across the platform, Reuters reported. The letter alleges that there are no Muslim employees on the India policy team. In response to questions from Time, Facebook said that it was legally prohibited from collecting such data. Which is fine. I think that would be weird if they did collect data on their employees' religions. So let's get into the next section of this. Let's talk about Facebook's relationships in powerful places. Facebook friends in high places. While it is common for companies to hire lobbyists with connections to political parties, activists say the history of staff on Facebook's India policy team, as well as their incentive to keep the government happy, creates a conflict of interest when it comes to policing hate speech by politicians. Okay, again, we're getting back to this guy who was highlighted in the beginning. And again, we're going to focus on this conflict of interest. Before joining Facebook, Thukral had worked in the past on behalf of the BJP. Despite this, he was involved in making decisions about how to deal with politicians' posts that moderators flagged as violation of hate speech rules during the 2019 elections, the former employees tell Time. His Facebook likes include a page called I Support Narendra Modi.
Look at this. We have some homophobes in the live chat. Again, a lot of Hindutva homophobes just are perfect. You just come here and they expose their own homophobia. This is great. I love it. I love it. Homophobia spread. Yeah, just like the Muslims, you just don't have to let them speak until they expose their own homophobia. But you continue.
Okay, so former Facebook employees tell Time they believe a key reason Thukral was hired in 2017 was because he was seen as close to the ruling party. So former employees are alleging that he was hired because of his close relationship to the BJP. In 2013, so now we're getting more into this background and his connections to the BJP here. In 2013, during the BJP's eventually successful campaign to win a national power at the 2014 elections, Thukral worked with senior party officials to help run a pro-BJP website and Facebook page. The site, called Mera Bavrosa, which means My Trust in Indy. I'm kind of pronouncing it like it's Spanish. So this website that he was in charge of running also hosted events, including a project aimed at getting students to sign up to vote, according to interviews with people involved in documents seen by Time. A student who volunteered for Mehra Barosa project told Time he had no idea that it was an operation run in coordination with the BJP, and that he believed he was working for a nonpartisan voter registration campaign. According to the documents, this was a calculated strategy to hide the true intent of the organization. By early 2014, the site changed its name to Modi Bharosa, meaning Modi Trust. So that's when they actually became explicit in their partisan affiliation and began sharing more overtly pro-BJP content. It is not clear whether Thukral was still working with the site at that time. So it's not clear if he was still involved when it became explicitly BJP affiliated, or at least honest about its affiliation. In a statement to Time, Facebook acknowledged Thukral had worked on behalf of Mehrabad Rosa, but denied his past work presented a conflict of interest because multiple people are involved with significant decisions about removing content. Quote, we are aware that some of our employees have supported various campaigns in the past in India and elsewhere in the world, Facebook said as part of a statement issued to Time in response to a detailed series of questions. Quote, our understanding is that Shivnath is his first name. Shivnath's volunteering at the time focused on themes of governance within India and are not related to the content questions you have raised. Now Thukral has an even bigger job. In March of 2020, he was promoted from his job at Facebook to become WhatsApp India Public Policy Director. So now he is the public policy director of WhatsApp in India, which has a user base of, I think it was 440 million. So he's dictating the public policy for 440 million users. In the role, New Delhi tech policy experts tell Time one of Thukral's key responsibilities is managing the company's relationship with the Modi government. It's a crucial job because Facebook is trying to turn the messaging app into a digital payments processor, a lucrative idea potentially worth billions of dollars. So, guys, this is the most important part of Facebook's interests that they're trying to protect and further within India. Okay? This is what it comes down to. Well, one of the most crucial things that it comes down to. In April, Facebook announced it would pay $5.7 billion for a 10% stake in Reliance Jio, India's biggest telecoms company, which is owned by India's richest man, Mukesh Ambani. On a call with investors in May, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg spoke enthusiastically about the business opportunity. Quote, "With so many people in India engaging through WhatsApp, we just think this is going to be a huge opportunity for us to provide a better commerce experience for people, to help small businesses and the economy there, and to build a really big business ourselves over time," he said, talking about plans to link WhatsApp Pay with Jio's vast network of small businesses across India. Quote, "That's why I think it really makes sense for us to invest deeply in India." So they're trying to build very long-term relationships here.
I mean, I don't blame them for that.
Yeah, to protect these interests, they're going to have to be cozy with the people in power. But WhatsApp's future as a WhatsApp's future as a payments application in India depends on final approval from the national payments regulator, which is still pending. So they might not be able to secure what they're investing so much in. Facebook's hope for expansion in India have been quashed by a national regulator before. In 2016, when the government's telecoms watchdog said Free Basics, which was Facebook's plan to provide free internet access for only some sites, including its own, violated net neutrality rules. One of Thukaral's priorities in his new role is ensuring that a similar problem does not strike down Facebook's big ambitions for WhatsApp Pay. So now we're going to get into a section about how they want to stay in their good graces and how that is conflicting with their, kind of progressive image that they put forth. At least in America, that's what they put forth. While the regulator is technically independent, analysts say that Facebook's new relationship with the wealthiest man in India will likely make it much easier to gain approval for WhatsApp Pay. Quote, "It would be easier now for Facebook to get that approval with Ambani on their side," says Neil Shah, vice president of Counterpoint Research, an industry analysis firm. "And goodwill from the government itself is important too," analysts say. Quote, "No foreign company in India wants to be in the government's bad books," says James Crabtree, author of The Billionaire Raj. Quote, "Facebook would very much like to have good relationships with the government of India and is likely to think twice about doing things that will antagonize them." Oh, there he goes. Okay. Girls take over. Actually, I want to check the live chat really quick. Okay, Melodic. We do know about this. We're going to cover this on the news next week. Anything else? Okay. Just a bunch of nonsense in the chat. Absolute nonsense in the chat. Okay. So let's continue. And then should I even continue? Because then he's going to come back and then he's not going to know what the hell I'm talking about. And I'm just going to have to explain it all again. Yes. Girls take over, as Katie say. Patriarchy has crumbled. The patriarchy has crumbled.
Nope. I'm back on top.
Yeah, Susanna.
What is? Oh, look at this. Look at this. Some people miss me.
Man, and I thought I was needy. I thought I was codependent.
Thank you, Maggie.
So, exactly. So, let us continue.
There we go.
That was funny. Yes. So the Indian government has shown before that it is not afraid to squash the dreams of everyone. Wait, we're on Twitch right now. I can't say this. All of you are thirsty. You're thirsty SIMPs, okay?
Yeah, I don't.
Quench your thirst.
That's okay. I encourage it. Stop shaming stop shaming my simps, Susanna. I don't shame your simps. Do I shame your simps?
Stop saying this. I don't want us to lose our
I don't.
Twitch.
I think Twitch got so much backlash for saying that that they didn't go through with it.
We don't know that yet. I don't know that yet.
Okay.
Okay.
So, but stop shaming them. Okay. I'm be nice to my simps. But yeah, continue.
Okay.
Okay.
So, the Indian government has shown before that it is not afraid to squash the dreams of foreign tech firms. In July, after a geopolitical spat with China, it banned dozens of Chinese apps, including TikTok and WeChat. Quote, there have been a creeping move towards a kind of digital protectionism in India, Crabtree says. Oh my God, Ghost Bunny.
Yes, you tell them, Ghost Bunny. But go on.
God. So in the back of Facebook's mind is the fact that government could easily turn against foreign tech companies in general, and Facebook in particular, especially if they're seen to be singling out major politicians. So I think this was a really interesting way of putting it. Basically, that foreign governments have to keep in mind this digital protectionism of India. Do you have any thoughts on this?
Nope. I'm just glad all of this is being shining light on. I can't wait to. I just think this whole backlash is going to. I'm I know Katie isn't optimistic in the short term. I think Facebook has been, based on what you've seen above, has been very responsive to all of this. Right? They don't want to be seen like this. I don't know. We'll see. But I think this whole, especially because Silicon Valley is left leaning, and we're talking about them protecting a far right political ideology. This has to look bad. I mean, as big as the Indian market is, I would think that they should be more concerned about how we should make it more devastating to them on how they look back home in the United States, right? Given in the age of Black Lives Matter and anti-Muslim bigotry and all of that, if Facebook all of a sudden is treated as a platform that makes that defends people in power, against their against Muslims, and also if we are successful, if I want to be successful to portray Twitter as being pro homophobia in favor of Hindutva, I think they will be like, if they, as much as they care about the Indian market, I would think that they would care even more about their American market, right? So this has to be a cost to them. So I'm hoping that there will be a backlash. Katie's saying, I hope you're right, Armin.
Oh,
yeah,
wait.
I'm hoping. What?
Swamp Mill is saying, I just opened your website yesterday and saw that it was banned. Yes, we are banned in India by the telecommunications agency. But try using a different internet service provider, or try using a VPN.
Yeah,
because unfortunately, fortunately, they're inept enough to not be able to ban us across the board. So
yet, some of India's major, not again, some people are idiots. We told everybody that we have been banned in India by some of the major ISPs, and some Hindutva butthurt people went and checked, and they were like, "Oh no, I have access to your website. Why are you lying?" So like, well, you're using a different ISP, you moron. But yeah, it's okay.
Anyways, so again, Facebook is trying to protect its interest against the threat of digital protectionism. # free markets. Darwinian Atheist is saying India has an untapped market of over 400 million. Yes, 400 million people. companies don't support saffron; they support green cash. Cash.
Yes, but you have to understand that the American and European eyeballs are valued more to Facebook and Twitter than So the India and China, for example, are major markets that they want to tap into because the sheer number of people there, right? But unfortunately, for every Indian or every Chinese person, there's like the people that have more cash to spend, marketing to them is going to value more, right? So it's just India matters a lot because even though each individual in India matters less to Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, they're proportionally so much higher number of them that even though per capita they don't mean as much, in total numbers they do mean a lot. But
and then Katie is saying Indian government also kind of wants
not to me. By the way, let me just be clear. I'm not saying to me. I'm talking to corporations, right? We here at Atheist Republic, we think India should matter more and BJP and Hindutva should matter more when it comes to us highlighting it as secularist, because more people's lives are influenced by them, right? We don't treat individuals, we don't think like the people in India matter less than people in anywhere else. Okay, we think India matters more because of all of this. But yeah, continue.
Katie is saying Indian government also kind of wants to go the China route of making their own apps. They're making their own versions of Twitter, etc., and even popular games like PUBG. Yes,
and you could have different standards on them.
Exactly, and monitor people more closely. Have direct control. Yay, authoritarianism. Yay, right-wing authoritarianism.
Yeah, and this is not us exaggerating authoritarianism, because when you have Facebook and Twitter community guidelines, those are private organizations and they get to do whatever they want on the platforms, and that's not what we mean by authoritarianism. But when you let the government all of a sudden into your app, that does become, because we usually say like, oh, this is not anti-free speech, this is just Facebook community standards, and if the government is not involved, this is not a this is the censorship issue, but not a free speech issue. But now if you are actually working directly with governments of Pakistan, India, and China, then it does become a free speech issue because the government is involved right now. But yeah, let's continue.
Oops, I muted myself. With hundreds of millions of users already in India and hundreds of millions more who don't have smartphones yet, but might in the near future, Facebook has an incentive to avoid that possibility, meaning getting shut out. Facebook has said in the past that it has no business interest in allowing hate speech on its platform, says Chumai Arun, resident fellow at Yale Law School who studies the regulation of tech platforms. It's evident from what's going on in India that this is not entirely true. It's not entirely true that they have no business interest in allowing hate. They're like, they do have business interest in that. Facebook says it is working hard to combat hate speech. We want to make it clear that we denounce hate in any form, said Mohan, Facebook's managing director in India, in his August 21st blog post. Remember, that's what we talked about as just corporate speak earlier. We have removed and will continue to remove content posted by public figures in India when it violates our community standards. But scrubbing hate speech remains a daunting challenge for Facebook. At an employee meeting in June, Zuckerberg highlighted Mishra's February speech ahead of the Delhi riots without naming him as a clear example of a post that should be removed. So they're obviously acutely aware of what's going on in India. The original video of Mishra's speech, again, remember, this was the BJP lawmaker saying that certain group of individuals should be shot. So the original video of Mishra's speech was taken down shortly after it was uploaded. But another version of the video with more than 5,000 views and a long list of supportive comments underneath remained online for 6 months until Time flagged it to Facebook in August. So
it's amazing how both Zuckerberg and Jack Dorsey seem to be against what's happening in their own companies, but they seem to be not be able to do much about it. Like a lot of people underestimate how much other employees and top managers in a company have control that maybe the CEO has to submit to sometimes. And the CEO is trying to like even openly say that they don't like this trend or that trend, but they can't. There seems to be like a lot of competing powers within these organizations, right? Anyways, do you have anything else to say before we show our blasphemous art?
Oh no, I think we should do a different stream about this.
Twitter thing.
Well, we're gonna no, that's not even what I'm talking about. We're definitely gonna talk about the new police report that was filed because of you. At it again, my boy. But we are I was referring to the report that details the 15-year campaign to influence the EU. I think that'd be very interesting to cover as well. So if you guys are interested in that and India's effort to infiltrate the EU, including identity theft, faking dead individuals' names, or their identities, influencing members of the European Union Parliament, and hundreds of fake news sites and organizations. Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you guys liked my sweatshirt, go check out our shop below. It's very cozy. And I got a kind that has a special pocket. Well, you can't see it because it's so black here. But I have a pocket within the pocket for my phone. It's awesome. So let's get into this news. No, not the news. I'm really tired. The blasphemous art. Hello.
Okay, so some think this is Muhammad, and yes, goddess Radha. I like how many people are butthurt that we're saying Radha is a goddess, because they're like, you got it wrong. It's not a goddess. She is a goddess based on some traditions and some people's. I love people getting butthurt over that, because that just increases the engagement. She is a goddess based on some traditions. So if you that means I know more about Hinduism than you do. All the people that want to pretend how much they know, right? But so this is Muhammad. He's dominating Radha. We already have a Hindu goddess dominating over Muhammad. So we wanted to switch things around, because a lot of people think like, I just want to make sure like people don't think that we're going PC and woman power and all that. No, sometimes women want to be dominated, right?
Well, that's also actually women empowerment.
Yeah, I know, but it's not. It's the right kind of woman empowerment. It's like just enjoy what you want, whether you want to be a sub or a dom, rather than, oh yeah, women have to rule because that. No, if you don't want to rule, don't rule. Sometimes women want to be passive and not be, yeah. Sometimes women want to be subs. And Radha, unlike Kali is like, based on what we know about Kali, we know that she's definitely a dom, right? That's why when we had Kali with Muhammad, Kali was dominating Muhammad. But based on what we know about Radha enjoys being a sub. Not every woman has to be powerful. If you are a woman that enjoys being dominated, there's nothing wrong with that. In this age of women empowerment and stuff, don't let people shame you about that. Radha enjoys being dominated by Muhammad, and she is being dominated by Muhammad. And okay, by the way, some people who have, hold on, actually I'm not going to say that unless he says something. I'm going to wait for it, see if he says something, because I know what he's trying to do. Oh, look this, see, Swab saying Radha is actually sub in our mythology. See, so we're being true to her character. So if you guys don't know what's happening behind the censored area, like your imagination sucks. But if your question is like, is that really happening behind the censored? Yes, it is definitely happening. One thing I have to say,
the details are good.
Yeah, the details are very good. One thing I have to regretfully say that in this version we like sexed it up a bit, so there's actual. I don't know what's the code word for. I think intercourse is okay. Yes, there's actual intercourse is
Penetration.
happening. Penetration is happening. Okay. Unlike the art before that we didn't show
It
any
was
penetration.
implied.
Yeah, now there's penetration happening. However, you don't see any genitals. Okay, we will in the next art. We
No, I
will.
really don't want to.
Okay, fine. We'll have a discussion about that. I mean, Patreon allows it, right? So we had a discussion, but I think the devil will have that. Will we have to sex it up a little bit?
Oh,
We'll see. We'll see. As you can see, Susanna still has some Puritan tendencies from her Catholic background.
oh no, what you described
I
to me
have
was like so explicit though.
no. What are you talking about? It's just the devil
With the
standing
snake?
there. No, the snake is not gonna go inside Eve. Okay.
I can't
Uh,
do this. I can't do this.
so no, the next art is going to be the devil, Adam and Eve, and the apple. I was suggesting that
No,
there
it's
would
not.
be. Oh no,
You've been
sorry.
saying that it's going to
Oh
be
no,
the
no,
devil
sorry.
Virgin Mary.
The devil and Mother Mary. Okay, that was also coming in. That's also coming. Okay, no, but okay. So you're confusing me because the snake was with the devil and Adam and Eve. Okay, and the snake in that situation is not going to go to Eve. With the Mother Mary, the devil and Mother Mary, there was no snake involved. Actually, there was a snake involved. It wasn't the snake wasn't doing anything other than attacking the dove, right? So okay, so Susanna is not very interested. I'm just going to talk to you guys in the live chat. Okay, so what I have in mind is the devil dominating over Mother Mary. Okay, but there has to be a snake involved because there's a devil, right? This what the snake in the Mother Mary one is going to do is going to be attacking a dove that is flying away, and the dove is going to represent the Holy Ghost. So the Holy Ghost was going to come to Mother Mary, and he was supposed to penetrate Mother Mary. Like it turns from a dove into like a ghostly figure, and then penetrates Mother Mary. But the story is that the devil intervenes, and he's dominating over Mother Mary. And there's a snake that is jumping from somewhere on the devil, from Lucifer, and is like the dove is trying to fly away while the snake is almost like biting the dove. Isn't that perfect? What do you guys think? Afshin is saying here. Afshin is saying, I usually agree with Susie, but on this one, I'm with Armin. Sorry, but we want to see everything. Yes, exactly. Thank you so much. Hussein is saying, oh, that's how Damien was born. Yes, I like it. The devil and snake. So basically, no, that's what I was thinking. Doing like giving something to the people that enjoy hentai tentacle stuff. And I would just consider it lightly, but Susanna was so triggered by me even suggesting it, just like right now, that I had to let go of that. So I'm sorry. You're not gonna see any tentacles going inside of Eve, because for now, until maybe, yeah, Armin has a vivid imagination. Yes, I do. Thank you for recognizing that. Dahlia is saying, just please edit their face reactions. It feels like they are. No, look at this. This is we specifically changed. If you look at between the draft 4 and draft 3, we got specific feedback to make sure that this looks consensual. And look at this. We listened to you, and we made sure this is definitely consensual. Okay, we made it so that it's obvious that there's no non-consensual stuff is happening here.
Look at
I
the
do.
detail on this though.
Yeah, I also.
The rest of this is so good.
This nose ring is such a defining feature of Radha that I think it needs to be a little bit more obvious that it's there. I don't know. What do you think from far away?
We're releasing the final tonight.
Okay,
So
it's good. It's good enough then. Dolly is happy. So God is like Jesus' stepdad. I don't know how that works. Bish is saying if you make hentai tentacle stuff, a rule of thumb, don't make them look like actual tentacles. Make them look like gigantic. Oh, dildos. You might have more. Okay, we're not going to do tentacles. It's going to be a snake instead of tentacles because it's going to be. But I'm not going to do that. So instead of actually so here's when it comes to the devil and Adam and Eve, the image that I have in mind is Lucifer holding the apple, right, and looking at the camera while doing like this, and you have both Adam and Eve on the ground, grabbing with one hand to his legs, and with the other hand like trying to get the apple, right, while he's holding it like this, right, and you can see the devil's giant. What's the code for that? Like the devil is going to show. He's going to be.
This
He's
is
going to
what I
be
don't like.
well in that. Okay, never mind. Oh my god damn it, Susanna, you're ruining this. Me and the life, like, god damn it, Susanna, just let us have some fun here. Why are you being such a Catholic? Hold on. I let go of my whole ex-Muslim stuff, and you're still in there. Okay, but here, let me continue. Guys, don't pay attention to Susanna right now. Let's pay attention to me, okay? Eve and Adam, they're all going to be like grabbing to the devil, right? And there's going to be a snake going from the devil, going around his, I don't have a code word for yet, and then going on down Eve's arm, and then down her body, and then close to her vagina, okay, but not inside, okay, because that's too much for Susanna. Maybe 1 year from now, once she's like more sex positive, then the snake would actually go inside or something like that, okay. Yes, the devil's snake. Ghost.
Snake is around his snake.
Yeah, there's a snake around his snake. Yes, going around from his torso, around his snake, down Eve's arms, around Eve's waist, towards her. Yeah, basically that's the seed, the apple seed. You know, that's the symbolism is there. I hope you guys get it. Okay, let me see what else. You give me some feedback from here. We need more Dom women in future arts too. Yes, we will have Dom. We already have Callie and Muhammad. We will have Dom women as well. Guys, don't be like
Mary being a little bit Dom towards other women too.
Yeah, but they want just like they want to. These people just want to undo the patriarchy. They just want to see men as subs. We will give you that. We will give you male subs, female doms, females. We give you all of it. We give you all of that. Okay, it will all just like.
Oh yeah. This reminds me. After doing some research, I've become convinced that Lord Krishna has a foot fetish. Specifically for Radha's feet, so I think we're going to work that into some stuff too.
Yeah, actually, tell us about your research.
Okay, so when I was doing research for references for Radha, I just kept on finding all these drawings and depictions of Krishna just having a lot of love, a lot of touch for Radha's feet. And I was looking it up, and there are whole scriptures about how Radha's feet are like Krishna's greatest treasure, and how they're softer than lotuses, and how he wants to worship them, and how like he'll descend from his throne to kiss her feet, and how he wants his head to be a headstool for her feet. I was like, this sounds like a straight up foot fetish. And there are all these photos of him like with the feet on his face, and he's like crying over the feet because they're so beautiful. Like, just let me kiss them, babe. Just let me kiss them. And then there's other photos of just her feet, and like they're just being like cradled softly. I'm like, this is straight up a foot fetish. You can't convince me otherwise.
Okay, you actually made Katie learn something about Hinduism. That's amazing.
Because I was just going through these photos and they just kept coming up, and then I had to talk to Katie about it. I was like, Katie, what is going on here? And she did some research. She's like, I think you might be right.
Okay, render onto
Here's the
season.
thing. Hey now.
Hey now, $3 super chat. Thank you for that.
you.
Okay, cool. We're gonna head out. Thank you guys. Troll is saying, Susanna, maybe those Muslim subs of yours were sent by Krishna. Yes, yes. Guys, can you encourage our artist is very good at encouraging Susanna to stop being such a Puritan. Our artist is so good. Yes. Can you guys also encourage Susanna to stop being such a to just let it, let us have the spiciness as maximum spiciness, guys, because we are trying to normalize sex positivity. Okay, there's nothing shameful about any of this. This is all beautiful. It's all beautiful. Okay, so just if it's not your thing, you could, guys, if you see we release one sort of sexy art that is not your thing, you're like, we're gonna release two blasphemous art every week, so you just have to wait until the next one, right? So you'll be like, I'm not into this. Don't worry, we have a lot more. We have so much blasphemous art. Okay, so don't, if something is not your kink, don't be like, oh, what is this? I don't like this. Just wait until we get you. If you're a $1 Patreon, every month we're going to be producing 8 blasphemous art. 8 blasphemous art. So you should be liking at least like half of them or something. Right? Anyways.
Oh my god,
so
I'm triggered.
Yeah.
Silva Kumar is saying that I'm vanilla. I'm not vanilla at all. I would actually probably scare most people. Okay, I'm just private.
Yes. But maybe trigger her by calling her vanilla, so she feels like she has to. I'm kidding. Don't do it. It's not good. Here's a question.
I did. We watched that together, Charles. It was pretty hilarious.
Did you show Armin the clip I sent with Lucas?
Remember the porn stars being like, "You have my mom."
Oh yeah. But don't say the PORN word. Ghost Bunny saying, can you tell us how big the devil snake is? I'm genuinely curious. Well, I want to show you, and if Susanna lets us, so we'll see. So just ask. Yeah. Anyways, Dolly is saying she has a point. Just stop interrupting her. No. What are you gonna do about it? All right.
Wow.
This is we enforce patriarchy here on Atheist. Yes. What are you gonna do? And we're proud of it. Anyways,
then Armin's like, "You're too mean to me on the stream."
Sure. All right, guys, we're gonna end the stream. Subscribe and share the videos. Okay. Bye.